So the darndest thing happened. I reviewed the film Legend of the Naked Ghost, and it got more views than any other movie review I've ever done, and it got them in less than a month. So apparently it's that word naked that means I got a lot, not a lot of watch time, mind you, but it was the largest video in both watch time and views for that month. So, I'm still upset at myself for doing this. I watched Naked with Marlon Wayans. Yeah. It's sort of like Groundhog Day, only you take the world-class actor of Bill Murray and replace him with the solid comedic actor of Marlon Wayans' rear end. And then you replace the day with an hour before a wedding. Marlon Wayans' character plays a horribly misguided English teacher who does not know anything about Catcher in the Rye or Lord of the Flies, who wakes up in an elevator an hour before his wedding and has to get to the church. And they play up the fact that he's naked a lot. There's a lot of scenes of his rear end. He runs down the street with his rear end hanging out. He wakes up with his rear end pointing up at you. There is a lot of his rear end in this movie. And he starts the movie running like a sissy, like the whole, as opposed to really running. So, yes. Now, much like in the movie Groundhog Day, Wayans' character has to work through some personal issues as well as conquer the challenge at hand. So instead of in Groundhog Day, the character just had to work through their own issues to move forward in life. They were stuck in that moment to have the perfect day so that they could get to tomorrow, or something of that nature. Don't really know how it works, but there's something they had to accomplish that they didn't understand to get to tomorrow. However, in Naked, the idea is he has to get to his wedding. And, shows up at the wedding, there's this problem. Shows up at the wedding, there's this problem. So, he keeps trying to get to this wedding, and more bizarre things happen, so on and so forth. And I don't want to give anything away at this point, because you might watch this. I mean, it's not a good movie. I definitely dislike the fact that I've watched it, but, spoilers. So I don't want to do that. But here is the big problem with this film, is that the laws that govern the film, Airplane, I Hate You, the dynamic is, from one cycle to the next, all he's supposed to be able to do is bring information. But somewhere in this movie, it breaks down, and not only does he seem to be able to bring information, but he seems to be able to bring... Other people seem to be able to bring that information. They seem to know things from the past. So it's like, yes, for one thing, there's no damn way you could accomplish all the things you accomplish in 1 hour. It's not possible. You've got to do this, that, and the other thing, and then come through and do this. And it's like, yes, in the course of an hour, if this guy could have made the right phone calls, there's all that stuff he could have taken care of. But then there's this other thing over here that's not possible. You could have done that one, but you do like 20 things. Each one of them would have taken you an hour. That's That's kind of the thing. It's like, there's no way you could have memorized something and done that. There's no way having that information would mean that within the space of an hour, you could accomplish that. There's big holes in the plot. So there's that thing. Naked is... It is... I didn't laugh during this movie, and I don't laugh at anything. So that's that thing. So here's what it is. Ask yourself, do I think this dude's rear end is funny? If the answer is yes, you're gonna like this movie. If you're not into a man's rear end hanging out being funny, you're not gonna like this movie. But I reviewed it because for some reason, are they shooting outside now? For some reason, every time I have the word naked in the title of my video, everybody watches it. So, I have watched Naked. So bad. Ugh, don't want to do that again. I'm Richard Neal.